Hey guys, what's going on? FI My Pawn here, and welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Since we last left off, we just finished the Ride-In questline, managing to figure out quite a bit about an individual known as the Horned Hunter, and many other secrets that Varnhold has been suffering from. We don't know what ended up happening to Varnhold, or our individual known as Ride-In, as he had completely disappeared. But that isn't our concern right now. For this stream, we're going to go in there. We're going to get Senator Armstrong going through that dungeon. Or we're going to have Senator Armstrong check up on Varnhold and probably annex their asses, depending on how things go. But without further ado, let's just get into things and see what happens. Because we're basically good to go for the most part, I would like to think. Alright. Could have put a minimization on the Jack arc. And now, we go back to autosave. And to give you a rough idea, we are going to be starting with investigation of Varnhold immediately, so that'll be fun. And now we are finally back with Stephen Armstrong and their crew. Your Grace, we have urgent news from Germandi Aldori. The Sword Lord is asking for aid with an unusual problem. Here is her letter. Please read it when you have a moment. Stephen Armstrong, I have a problem and no one else to turn to but you. I need someone to travel down to a town south of Restov, Varnhold. The town was founded by Mager Varn. You met him at the reception to celebrate your new title. Recently, I stopped getting reports from him. I didn't pay much attention to it, but in the past week, not a single traveler, merchant, or messenger from Varnhold has shown up in Restov. No one knows what happened to the town. If I were you, I would make sure I was ready for this journey. The plains of Dunsword are dangerous. Also, we have yet to find out what was it that cut off communication with Varnhold. An attack, arcane magic, or some epidemic or plague. I would have gladly investigated the matter, but the current state of affairs dictates I remain from dealing with this personally. I am counting on you and your help. Head out south of Dunsword and find out what, or who, stands behind the vanishing of Varnhold. Your friend and ally, Sword Lord Germandi Aldori. Well then, seems like we got some problems. Lady Aldori asked you to head to Varnhold at once. It's a baronry led by Mager Varn, a brave soul who carried out the settlements from the wilderness. Until recently, he eagerly and frequently relayed to the Sword Lords his many successes. But then the letters suddenly ceased. As you may expect, this is a matter of some concern. Germandi Aldori expects you to help with this matter, for she knows of your good intentions, or good relations with Mager. She asked you to go to Varnhold and find out why they have fallen silent. Why would the Sword Lords care about Varnhold? Germandi Aldori seeks allies with anyone who is proven to be trustworthy, even if it's only a little. Considering that Varnhold is the closest thing to an outpost on the edge of the River Kingdoms, it is also useful for her to keep an eye on Dunsword and the surrounding area. Alright, what do we know about Varnhold? This baronry is much like your own. It was also established by mercenary Mager Varn. He got his title at the same event you did. Mager Varn is third or fourth son of the family, so he couldn't claim his father's inheritance. Looks like he hoped to establish a settlement of his own to gain wealth and prosperity that way. What do you think happened to Varnhold? A riot? Rebellion? But if that were the case, there would be refugees. Whatever happened there, it must have been sudden indeed. Perhaps a bandit attack, barbarians, plague. Whatever it was, no one outside Varnhold seems to know what happened. Well, maybe Varn simply decided to stop dealing with Rostov? It's happened before. Judging by Aldori's letter, the silence doesn't seem voluntary. Otherwise, at least one person would have reached a neighbor and spoken about what happened there. Well, Varnhold isn't far off. We should find out what happens there before the same fate befalls us too, at least. Then it's time to gather a party and head to Varnhold, Your Grace. Indeed it is.
This time, the disaster didn't hit us, but our neighbors. Varnhold, a small town east of our barony, had been deserted in an instant.
Ominous. Before we move on, I'm going to check up on New America, see how things are going first. Okay. I just need a simple refresher on things. Let's see, Warden, Stability. I guess we can have the Kun do that, for now. Okay, we will quickly just spend 200 BP. And we want Expert Mountaineering, just so we can increase our speed, basically, in mountainous regions. Having that alone is merit enough. Okay. And we're going to have Jack Snake be our focus. Jack will be our focus for this story, obviously. And we should be good to go now, I think. Alright, price in descending order. Everybody's organized for the most part. Let's go to a storyteller. Any relics worth story? No. Okay. Okay, we've got acerbic rings, which is basically alchemist rings for the most part. Let us go over to Jubilist. We'll give him another acerbic ring. And for the sake of everybody, we'll just give them +1 rings, because it is in abundance. Yeah, there we go. +1 ring. It is a bit of a costly endeavor, but considering it's a bonus to AC, it never hurts to give. Kundayo, let's give you 1. Amiri already has 1. I think that covers everybody for the most part. We just need to do some level up. Okay. We'll level up our Inquisitor. Okay. We're rocking a level 11, so we got Stalwart. Nice. There's also Greater Bane. Nice. Tactician ability is a swift action. And Battle Acumen. Judgment benefits to a single ally. Okay. Cool. Alright, I will boost up all these stats then. And we shall boost up Stealth just in case. Get all of our stats basically bumped up. Alright, we got Combat Reflexes, Outflank. Now, what do I want to do with her? Well, I could do Improved Critical now, at this point. What weapon does she use? I guess that depends. I don't know. Give me a second. I'm going to do a quick Google search. And that is mainly just to see if I can find what sort of weapon she could potentially use. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be looking for magic weapons. Kingmaker, obviously. The Rod of Razors. A keen adamantine halberd. Okay. There's a bastard sword, a holy fish's bastard one. There is the oppressor. Huh. There's quite a few good ones. I just need to find a good weapon for it. I might have to go back real quick, so give me a sec. Alright, let me see her current weapon. We're currently rocking a long spear, so let's see if there's any long spears. There is the +5 Dragonbane long spear. Or there's the... there is the Stinging Edge. Okay, so neither would be good. Okay. I think the halberd might be the best choice, I think, for now. Or is it the bardiche? Yeah, the bardiche. Either could work. There's the Champion of Graves or there's the Rod of Razors. Either would work, but the Champion of Graves would probably be the best in regards to the character, whereas the Rod of Razors would be a fantastic extra item to have instead. I just need to find the qualities of the Bardiche. Let's see. Bardiche. Here we go. It is a martial weapon. D10 slashing. Is it a reach weapon, though? Yes, it is a 6-foot melee weapon. Good. And it's a D10 slashing. Okay. So in the short term, it wouldn't matter that much, but in the long term, it would definitely matter. So having it wouldn't be that bad. Either that or I get a glaive. Alright, well, what's the glaives types? We got the Incurable Petal, which is a holy glaive that deals 2d6 sonic damage. There is the Dragon Bane, or Dragon's Essence. No, that's a Great Axe. No, I'm gonna want... Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with the Bardiche. So, she's going to specialize in Bardiches for the near future. So I should build with that in mind. Mind you, I will need to figure out what a Bardiche does. Yeah, no, it's the 19 to 20 crit range. It's got 6 feet melee, D10 slashing. But otherwise it's fine. I just have to build with that in mind. Okay. Okay, just boost up those stats, get stealth up by a point. Do we need weapon focus? Not exactly. No, not yet. Not until we get to Bardiche anyways. I could get extra Bane weapon, which wouldn't do much for us, I think. We could get improved critical, though. Because there is one that has Keen and there is one that doesn't, but deals an additional 3d6 damage. Well, I mean, a Bardiche with extra crit wouldn't be that bad. I'll hold off for now, though, just in case. Let's see. We could get Precise Strike to deal an additional d6. Could also get Shield Wall, if need be. Let's see. What can we get? That's a good question. Alright, Arcane Strike, no. Cautious Fighter. Could get Cleaving Finish. Well, we could technically, but we'd need Power Attack. Honestly, we could do with a Cleave build. Somewhere in our roster. That might not be bad. Could also specialize in Trip and take advantage of people. Or we could get the Dirty Trick combat maneuver. Let's see. Do we have the prereqs for Dirty Trick? I do believe we do. Yep. We've got the qualities for Disarm and Dirty Trick. You can attempt to hinder foes with standard action. If you're successful, the target takes a penalty. It's limited to blinded, entangled, or sickened. And Greater Dirty Trick basically makes it last a bit longer. Well, considering Dirty Trick can quite literally temporarily blind, entangle, or sicken somebody, it's not that bad. Do I want it though? Yeah, I might as well. You never know. Might actually prove to be very useful. Okay, we're gonna want, I guess, True Strike here? Yeah, we'll get True Strike. That we have a chance to hit more efficiently in some situations. And we will get... We've got Cure Critical Wounds, we've got Protection from Energy Communal. We are gonna want... it's either gonna be Restoration or something else. Crusader's Edge. Let's see. Crusader's Edge. When you cast a spell on a melee weapon, you imbue it with holy power, granting it Bane against evil outsiders. Further, if you hit with a successful... Okay, that's an option, I guess. I think I will be going for Death Ward, though? Or I could go for Burst of Glory. It's a +1 Sacred bonus, and saves against sphere effects, plus bonus to HP. I would go with Burst of Glory if it had a bigger bonus, I think. Instead, I'll just go with... Yeah, I'll go with Death Ward, because you never know. Goodness knows we're reaching that point where death effects are actually going to be painful. Alright, Sundowner. He's using Kukris currently, but I should see if there's any other focus I should go. Alright, Kukris. There is 2 good ones that I can reliably use. So I will focus on those, I guess. Alright, Weasel's Bite and Weasel's Claw. To give you a rough idea of what these weapons do, they have a ×3 crit modifier, and when a creature is hit by them for the first time during combat, it deals an additional 66 damage. Of course, I could get Cold Blood and Fiery Blood, which is equally as destructive, which is a freezing and incinerating kukri. But yeah, those are the high quality weapons from what I can see. Okay. Well, whatever case. Weasel's Bite and Weasel's Claw will come in due time. So, yeah, we'll just have Sundowner keep focusing on the Kukri build that he's been establishing. He'll be for the best as a continued rogue, because that's his best existence, to be honest. Alright, boost up his mains here, like so. And what do we want to focus on the side? Because we have plenty of points to put into places. Do we need knowledges? Not as much. I think persuasion might be the last thing. So keep that as an option. Okay, seize the moment. It's a teamwork feat. When an ally who also has this feat confirms a critical hit, you make an AOO against that opponent. Okay, cool. Improved critical. Yeah, let's get that for the kukri. I think that's a very easy choice, considering the circumstances. Alright, kukri. Do we want to focus on anything else? If we go dagger, there is an Undain Bane dagger, there's an Agile dagger, there's the Mithril Speed dagger that can impose a -3 to Wisdom scores. There's also Dark Wind, which gives a bonus to stealth checks and increases sneak attack damage. Do we want to focus daggers, though? That'd be the easy choice. What else have we got? We've got dueling swords, we can use the stalks. I think it might be in our best interest to just keep focusing and just see what we see. There's the Size, Sickle, and Star Knife. Also Punching Dagger, I guess. Okay, Sickle. If we go Sickle, there's a +5 Sickle that deals electricity damage instead of physical. But it's better used on a druid from the looks of it. And there's also another Sickle that can apply the grab special quality. So probably not best. For Star Knives, there is the +5 Unholy Star Knife. And it has a chance to cast either Slay Living, Confusion, or Crushing Despair. Huh. There's also Feybane one. There's also the Never Ending Journey, which dazzles a target. I'm gonna go with Star Knives as a secondary focus. Oddly enough. Well, actually, I could do that late game. I'll focus daggers now because that's what I have currently, so it won't be that bad. But I digress. I think that's everything we wanted to do. How's our inventory looking? We've got a metric bugger ton, so we're gonna probably want to leave and sell some stuff. Quite a lot of stuff, in that matter. Oh. I mean, I had planned on just, doing things, but I guess not. I guess we'll save. That'll be a good name. Let's keep going. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, hi. Hold on. Okay.
I'm there.
Hello?
Where are you rushing off to, my hound? To face your own death?
Why are you here? Want to try to kill me again?
Why am I here? Kill you? Not today. Believe it or not, but I came here without evil intentions. I've been watching you, my hound. You've escaped my trap. You've destroyed my beautiful everbloom flower. Such a strong will to live in such a fragile, mortal creature. Once, long ago, it hurt me to see flowers being torn apart by the wind. But today I watch you thrashing like a moth caught in a spider web, and I cannot turn my eyes away.
If I am a moth caught in a spider's web, then what are you? The spider.
I am the web itself. The moment you took your first step on the road of the stolen lands, you fell under my power.
Well, you're not really doing a good job as a web. Jeez. So you were the one behind the bloom. What have I, or my subjects, ever done to you?
There was a time when I used to ask myself the same question. What had I and my 1,000 breaths ever done to them? Why had I to endure this? You're wrong to think that your problems began with you. The ever-blooming flower was created long before your barony was founded. I prepared my weapon long in advance, having no idea what I would turn it against. Everything has a price. Thousands of lives must be turned to dust for a single act of forgiveness.
I have visited the First World and learned something about you. And about your curse, no less.
How? Well, there's no point in asking. My untamed homeworld has many miracles to offer. One can never know what they will reveal, or to whom. So, what do you think of the proud, bitter, fallen nymph now, my hound?
Well, it sounds like you're in trouble yourself. Stop trying to kill me and my subjects, and maybe I'll find a way to help you.
You want to aid the storm that strikes you and your lands? Hell, why? Though I do not want to know. You will help me either way, voluntarily or involuntarily, with your death.
How about telling me your real name?
Names can be weapons in capable hands. You've no need to know my name. No need.
Very well. The trouble in Varnhold, do you have something to do with it?
I can answer, but will you believe me? I have nothing to do with it, but I know who is responsible. I won't tell you, though. Run now towards your death, hound. Run, hound, run! I want to see you stumble.
I will ask you again. Why are you here? Give me an honest answer. It seems pointless to have a conversation of hints and hidden meanings.
Why shouldn't the mistress visit her pet? Farewell, my hound. You have no idea what powers you've awakened, and now you voluntarily rush into their jaws. If you run your blade down their throats, I won't be disappointed. If you perish, I'll have forgotten you by dawn.
Right. I mean, I guess that's it.
I do what I must.
I mean, I thought there was more to this place, but I guess not. Oh well. Now we can go sell our stuff. Alright, let's go sell quite literally everything we don't need. Price and sending order. Okay, that is our armor. Let's see, weapons. We've got the fly swatter. I think we opted that none of these are actually pretty good in any sense, or at least that we don't need them. So we might as well sell the lot. Avoid selling Jathal's dagger. There we go. Offer up the rest. Sell up the tier 1 stuff. Belt Giant Strength +2. Keep it. Alright, let's see. What else can we give up? Oh, we've got a +2, right. Right. We should probably give that to somebody then. I guess we'll give the +2 to one of our melee users, probably Samuel, instinctively. There's +2 armor amulets. But nobody needs it. We've got the Judgmental Gaze, so we're gonna give that to, I guess, Harem, because he's gonna need it for his diplomacy stuff. There's the +2 headband, but we don't need that. Let's see. I think that's it that we need to keep. We'll sell everything else we don't need. Get rid of those, that. Get rid of that. Cold resistant +2, might as well. There we go. Now we've got 40k to work with. Now we can go to Hassif. Has trade recovered from all the hardships the town has endured? It's been a terrible tragedy, but we stood our ground and overcame it. We now sell almost as many as good as we did before the catastrophe. And we're even lacking in timber, stone, and construction tools. The prices are sky high. Alright, let's see what you have. Price and sending order. Heavy mace that deals 2d6 damage and grants the wielder continuous freedom of movement. We don't need it, though. Do we have any 6-foot range weapons? I don't think we do. Yeah, nothing too special there. There is the +2 full plate, but that requires to be a good character. Heart of Valor, +4 mithril breastplate is not bad. Gives a morale bonus to fear effects as well. And it works on a 5 dexterity mod. Good if we have a more dex-inclined character, but I don't think we have anyone that fits that description too great. We are definitely getting a diadem, though. At the very least. Could get another Ring of Luck. Never hurts to have, I do believe. But actually, no, we don't need them, because I think everybody's accommodated for that sort of thing. Head stuff is fine. How's gloves looking? We've got athlete's gloves, so actually we might want to get the trap slinger's gloves. That is mainly for Sundowner, though. So we'll get that. What else do we want? I think that'll do. Alright. let us give this to Sundowner. We'll get the better character with that. Now the diadem. Let's just give it to you. It's better than the other one, and it'll do more damage, basically. Nothing like 2d6 extra damage from composite blasts. Alright, Athlete's Gloves. Let's see. Who's got the best for that? I guess Steven would make the most sense. Knock Knock is a close second, but he's not with the party. Monsoon would also work. But that would get rid of Death from Afar, so... it would also get rid of Steady Hand. I'll abstain from that, I think. Well, True Strike... or Athlete's Gloves. +4 to Dex. It would help AC, basically. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I've got Lamashu's Boon, which gives a +2 to stuff. Nice. I need to keep my Lawful Evil, yeah, I'm gonna need to keep my Lawful Evil thing just going down and down. Perception. No, mobility and athletics. Let's see, athletics. Samuel. Or Kundayo. I mean, I guess Samuel might work. It's better than using the athlete's it's better than using dueling gloves because he's not a fighter. If it were a fighter, then yeah, maybe, but yeah, whatever. Done and done. Let's get out of here and let's do that. Yeah, let's do this job. Get some healing from Wholeness of Body. There we go. A healthy man is a happy man. Get rid of those guys. We will get our other two. Sundowner and... Yep. Alrighty, tighty. We're good to go. As best as we possibly can, anyways. Okay, we want her over here. Let's have Sundowner there. That should work for the party composition. Okay. That is the best we can probably manage for now. Yeah, we're good to go, I think. Okay, so the goal is to get to the east as soon as possible. The fastest way would probably be to go here, or we take the path up north to Varnhold itself. Either way would work in this case, so I'd say the fastest method is actually going this way to start with. At least that's my thoughts on it. It's the closest to Varnhold, and it's the least amount of cutting that we need to do. Without having to worry about anything else, that is. Alright, before we go, let's see. Grand Diplomat wants to discuss important matters. Well, unfortunately, I'm busy, so it's gonna have to wait. A shame, really. If only we weren't busy dealing with Varnhold.
Rest is in order.
Shallow Gulch. A small ravine in the foothills. The place can be treacherous to unwary travelers. Let us quickly put up camp. Get the rest for 9 hours. Let's get everybody unassembled first. We will give Sundowner the legendary job of camouflage. We'll give our hunting to him. What else we got? Cooking should be left to Monsoon. Alright. Done. That is basically our organization done. Let's see, do we want fish or do we want something else? Galrigo would be nice, but fish on a stick is probably for the best. We're definitely going to need more butter, though. Regardless of what we choose. Alright, we'll go with Galrigo for this time. Okay. Get our rations sorted and we're good to go. Managed to get 6 rations. Camouflage is successful. Managed to cook the Galrigo. And we're good. Spells are automatic for Mistral. Comson, I will need to set him up again because it's been a while. Let's see. 3rd level spells. Featherstep Mass, Magic Fang Greater. I could give this to... Yeah, I might actually give this as well to somebody. Okay, Delay Poison Communal would be nice. To call on hand, anyways. Greater Longstrider, Soothing Mud, Resist Energy Communal. No need. 2nd level, Bark Skin. We've got 4. And we got Delay Poison already set, so we don't actually need another. So let's forget that. What else can we give? There is Resist Energy Communal. Can Mistral cast Resist Energy Communal? She can. But it never hurts to have an extra set of hands casting it. If I wish, that is. Huh. I don't know. Let's just go with it. Resist Energy Communal. We can have 2 Magic Fang Graders because one can go on the Wolf, the other can go on... Because it does count for unarmed strikes as well. There is that. Okay. That's his spell sorted. He's got sorcerer spells, but that isn't a big worry. Alright. We won't be able to get those buffs just yet, but it's fine. While traveling through the hills of Nomen, we noticed something worrisome. Crows circled the sky, much as they do upon spying a corpse to feast on. More ominous yet, clouds of smoke trailed into the sky as well. After noticing that, we... approached carefully, trying not to reveal ourselves. We soon saw what attracted the crows. A dead horse lay in a ditch, one leg missing, and its carcass already picked at by scavengers. Near the horse was what looked to be a corpse of a former rider, a young man clad only in undergarments. The smoke was coming from a bonfire, around which goblins were roasting a horse leg. It seemed their hunger was stronger than their fear of these animals. Other goblins were busy rummaging through the clothes of a deceased man and taking whatever choice bits they could find. One goblin was strutting around wearing a beret with a feather, another a velvet jacket, and 2 other goblins, each wearing a single boot, were in the middle of a tug-of-war with the dead man's trousers. When we saw this, we rushed into a fight. After noticing us, the little bastards start to flee, leaving behind everything they've been trying to take from the body of the deceased, including a hefty coin pouch. Alas, in this backwater, coin proved to be of little use. Alas, the body laid before us belonged to none other than Tomin Hanvaki, a noble from Gralton, the one whose brother begged us to look for him. A letter in his jacket pocket, yellowed with age, confirmed his identity. It was signed Mathian Havaki, a relative. All we could do was take the tragic news to his brother. Well, that's a shame. I guess we'll find, yeah, that kind of sucks, man. Oh well.
I'm off.
Man, it's been a while. Okay. Yeah, no, this is... It's quite the ghost town currently. That's not fun. The entrance to the empty tavern still smells of spilt ale. Just rather the cure serious wounds, because why not? Northeast, rest stop, 40 miles. Across the river, Varnhold, fort. Northwest, Mountain Pass, 12 miles. Okay. The door to the merchant's house lies open. Inside is chaos. Vengeance of the Meek, a two-handed sling staff with giant bane on it. Huh. Oh.
I'm there.
Okay, back off. Seems we got enemies. Let's pre-buff, just in case.
In due time.
Alright. Time to pre-buff. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these guys can sometimes be alchemists, but it is really uncommon for them, I do believe. So we should keep that in mind. But otherwise, they shouldn't be that hard to deal with. Alright, let's buff her up. There we go. Now, I do believe it's just a buff between the wolf and the more melee-oriented characters, naturally. Like so. And because it's 10 minutes level, it should be fine. We should definitely get heroism on everybody, though. Or at least 5 people, anyways. There we go. There we go. Protection from arrows, communal. Let's get mage armor on. Thompson. I think that'll do. No need to go, you know, completely haywire.
My skills are absolute.
Shield of Faith is fine. We're definitely going to want to remove fear, though, I think. Okay, we got Dirty Tricks spells. True Strike is a thing. Okay. And we got Sicken, Dirty Trick. We don't need to use Death Ward just yet, so let's abstain from that for now. Resistant Communal can hold off. Get that. See Invisibility Communal. There we go. Resist Energy Communal. Or, let's see, we want Resist Fire Communal just to be safe. Acid, and let's be safe and say Electricity, because Cold is less likely. Worst case, we'll get Cold protection, and we'll get Fire protection, like so. And worst case, we also got Good Hope, but Heroism should carry us for the most part. We've got Combat Expertise, which not as needed, considering we're at a range. So let's turn that off. Do we want sickened, blinded, or entangled? Let's go blinded. Blinded's probably going to be better. Let's do a quick save. Like so. And let's deal with these pests. Whatever they are.
Follow if you dare.
Okay. The fisherman's house had been plundered. All fish, nets, and tools are gone.
Ah, I managed it.
The big black bird is watching with every move. Ominous, but okay. Could be a familiar, worst case. Alright. Well, whatever those guys are, they're gone now. Kinda sucks, but that's fine. Kinda half expected it. Okay, what else we got? There's some more stuff down here, I would imagine. What's this? House is empty. Fairly simple explanation. Okay. The Temple of Arostil is empty in the dark. This huge raven is watching you closely. It seems it's been following you ever since you left the fisherman's house. Okay. Oh.
I'm off.
Alright. Who are they focusing? They're focusing the wolf, I think? Okay. There we go. The wolf manages to take them, or clean up house, basically. Nice.
In due time.
Doesn't appear to be anything beyond that, though. Well, aside from this. Some some scrolls of, cures hidden away. What about this? Grain litters the ground across this former granary. The sacks that used to hold supplies have been torn apart and emptied. And bones and other leftovers are scattered in the dirt. Huh. So it appears some people died here? I think?
I'm there.
That's what the stories tell me anyways. At least from what I can tell. What about here? The door to the house is ajar. The owner didn't lock it when leaving their home.
Follow if you dare.
So, putting it simply from what we're discovering, people just left. Originally there was some chaos here and there, but then things calmed down and everybody left. Oh, lore nature. There are numerous tracks, humanoids, both small and gigantic, and to and fro the fort. Okay. Ah, size alteration, fun. Ah, trip. Perfect. I've missed the advantages of trip. Ooh, masterwork daggers. That's not bad. The water near the bank is teeming with fish, darting about among the algae. So, it definitely wasn't a food problem, from the looks of it. But they did seem to migrate for some reason. What reason that is, we have no idea. But whatever the case is, it was a mass migration. At least from what we're discovering. We better find the problem soon, then. You can make out voices behind the fort's walls. It's possible that, they're still hiding in the, forts. It's hard to say, though, without actually checking it out. Well, we'll figure it out soon enough, I'm sure. So let's just be careful and be weary. Because that's how we're going to find out the solution. Okay. Before we go into the fort, we should probably play this careful. So we're going to go around, I think. Ah, wargs. Fun. There we go. I am going to miss the cleric advantages, though. I must admit. I could just maximize, just not empower. Okay. If I channel for medium, which is a standard action, it would allow me to... No, I think a full round action with maximize is actually going to be better for us. But I digress. Let's keep going. Grab that. What else we got? We've got a cliff, so... But we do have this, to our advantage at least. Okay. Let's go check out this area. And just so you guys are aware, just like normal, I'm going to be very thorough with this investigation. Gather what I can, go from there. Okay, there appears to be a log. This spot on the wall has been damaged by a fallen tree branch. The birch, or the tops of the logs used as a construct, the walls have been broken, and the logs themselves stand askew. The thin birch tree still leans against it. A dexterous enough individual could probably climb up the trunk and get over the wall. We certainly have the mobility for it. The trunk of the birch tree is slippery, and the logs of the wall shift precariously under your weight. But you'll manage to make it over the wall. Thanks to one of our companions, it is. Let's take out the Spriggan while we're at it. Hick. I think we're out of booze.
Strike, my masterpiece.
Ah, the boogeyman rope. Taken in, coming in clutch. We're under attack. To your battle, companions. Okay. Alright, there we go. It's another individual taken down. Hey, that's not bad. We're taking in, it's quite easy to take these guys out now. At least I think, anyways. Grab the healing, grab the great club. At the very least, we're getting a bunch of healing, so I'm not complaining. Okay, we're also getting a bunch of breastplates, so if we want to use those, I suppose. Although, considering how much masterwork gear we're getting, I don't think we're going to pick up armor anyway, or anymore. Not unless it's enchanted. Light crossbows are ditch worthy, so let's get those out of our inventory. There we go. No need to pick those up. Anything else around here before we go? More Spriggan Rangers. Seems tripping won't help. Well, no, it actually helps quite a lot. Ah, Rip Samuel. Alright, light crossbows. Ooh, masterwork one. Grab that. Okay, let's grab this, whatever it is. An ancient Cyclopsian coin. Masterwork great club. Breastplate. And let's keep going. Yeah, just... I guess we'll see what happens, yeah. Okay, more combat. Spriggan fighters from the looks of it. Naturally. Shouldn't be too hard to take them out. Oh wait, Sundowner's using range. Wait, is he? It's hard to tell. Yeah, no, he's going to melee, but he seems to be reaching further than anticipated. Yeah, how is he doing that? What?
Strike, my masterpiece.
Wait, how is he reaching that far? Hold on. Yeah, no, he's got a Mother's Care, which is a Keen Frost finesse-wielding kukri. And he's got the Agile finesse-wielding kukri. Or, he's got the Deceiver. +5 on stealth checks, and the ability to cast Displacement once a day. Huh. It's really weird, but okay.
Well, it's
Salute in the bank, I guess. Don't matter, really. Okay, there's a bit of lag, but that's fine. Skilled crossbowman, no. Okay, let's move back. Grab loot from here. Let's grab that, but ignore the bucklers, because those are cheap as heck. Can I go to the back there, is the question. I probably can't, but it never hurts to check. No, I can't. Never mind. I thought I could. Alright, what about here then? What's these? Grab these. Masterwork crossbow, masterwork mace. Then there's this dude. There we go. Any way to get up there? No, it don't look like it. Anything over here? Something in the middle. At the bottom of the well, half hidden underwater, lies a broken bucket tied to a piece of rope. And a dead spriggan with a broken neck. Huh. That's weird. Okay.
I do what I
There's
must.
just a lot of ominous things going on here. Missing disappearance. No signs of the people. It's like they up and left for some reason. Price into Descending Order. How's our healing? We've got Cure Moderates, but that's about it, so I'll just down some of those. There we go. That should do it.
entertainment.
Oh, right. Steven also needs to cast Bark Skin on himself, so let me do that real quick. Okay.
This will hurt.
Ah, blind. Perfect. Yeah, no, that damage is really juicy. It's been a while. It's so good to have all that damage at your disposal, I must admit. Masterworks, grab all those, there we go. At the very least, we're going to get a ton of Masterwork gear, so that's not a bad thing. Alright, what else we got while we're here? Nothing here. Okay, reorganize. Let's get Sundowner to pop the lock on that Trickery Trap. Oh, there's a dog in here. Poor doggo. Alright, what's in here? Okay, just a few items here and there. But otherwise, nothing too fantastic. Huh. Ah, another Trickery Trap. Let's get Sundowner to disable it.
Oh, I managed it.
Alright. More ancient scraps. Yet another ancient, or not yet another ancient scrap, but items all the same.
We cannot be defeated.
Ah, more combat. Ah, the rogue. Ah, well. Quite the cleanup. Okay, grab the daggers. Potions are always nice. Okay, light crossbow, masterwork, there we go. Oh, hold on, there might be another. Yep, there's the dodgy crossbowman, there we go. Now I have two ways, we can go this way or the other way. We'll go this way to start with, because that looks to be where the stairs are, so... First clear out the rooms, here and there. Let's get the wolf going over here. Huh. Okay. Ah, blind. Perfect. Ah, dodgy crossbowman. Too bad that will be enough to handle everything else. Good. Let's grab the loot and we'll be on our way. Okay. Another set of daggers. Crossbow. Nice. Nothing there. What about in the corner here? Nope. Anything here? No. Okay, just more, death and despair, I guess? Nothing there. Over here? No. Okay, what's here? It looks to be Mager Varn's personal vault, which he has left unattended, actually. Huh. That's odd. Okay, so the man has basically abandoned his fortress, or his kingdom. The people have abandoned them, with no sense of bringing their belongings, no less. Yeah, that's really weird. Either there was a abduction of some kind, or something else has happened. And if you're following the story, you probably understand which one it is. Or at least I imagine. Okay. Spriggan Fighter. Heavy Mace, potions, great club, daggers. Okay, what about here? More crossbows. Let's grab the loot from there. See, club. Okay, nothing enchanted from the looks of it. Ah, a wand of displacement. Oh, that's really good. Quarterstaff, Alcata, some goods here. Alright. Let's open this door. Bear. Oh, so that's how you open a door. Secret bear entrance.
I'm off.
Alright. Now let's go in here. The biggest Spriggan, scarred and beaten, bares his rotting teeth. Oh, I guess we can't even rest here. I bet you followed our trail from our very den. Forcing us from our home wasn't enough. Now you've come to finish us off. Well, a guy will not make this easy for you. Forced you out of your home? What do you mean? A guy swings his blade and utters a shrill battle cry as he charges you. Tear this scum's throat out. Well, that's annoying. But okay. I'll play. Oh, there's also Sunder. Okay. Sunder a guy's armor, I guess. A guy steps back, pressing his hand against his bleeding wounds. Well, you got me. He hisses through clenched teeth. Go on then. Keep hounding us, pushing us back. Clearly taking all we had wasn't enough. I believe you and your kin aren't to blame. What are you on about? Or, where are all the locals, I should say? No clue. Eaten by someone, just gone. They left their belongings behind, doors wide open. Anyone could walk in and take what they like. I believe you and your kin aren't to blame for the disappearances of Varnhold citizens. I'll let you leave in peace. Just tell me where your den is. Perhaps I could pay you a visit and help you get your home back. A guy stares at you, unblinking, then scoffs with contempt. A human wants to help. Sure, I'll be surprised if I'm still breathing when we're done. I bet you just want to fight your way in and take my cave for yourself. But what do I care? If I'm lucky, you'll both just kill each other. Find an old cave to the south. That's where you'll find the creeps who forced us out. And if you by some chance manage to kick them out of there, I'll know. Then we'll talk some more. There we go. Sounds like a plan. Don't follow me. Well, it wasn't the best introduction to them, but hey, we managed to get something out of it. No corpses, that's par for the course, that's fine. What is this? Unfinished letter of Maker Varn. Most Honorable Baron Stephen Armstrong, I am Baron Maker Varn of Varnhold. I am writing to inquire about the current state of affairs in your realm. I hope that no trouble or pestilence has found your way into your lands. Perhaps you could arrange a neighborly meeting soon to discuss things. At your leisure, of course. I would also like to request your aid in a small matter. A few days back, an adventurer by the name of Willis Gunderson retrieved a mysterious bracelet from one of the ancient ruins scattered across Dunsword. Gunderson kindly turned it over to my court wizard, Keffel, who continues to examine it. As it lies on the table before me, it may be the most peculiar thing I've ever laid eyes on. The bracelet is covered in angular patterns that resemble a labyrinth, and is adorned with an inscription of an unknown language. No learned man in Varnhold has been able to read the writings or deduce which culture the artifact belongs to. So I ask for your aid. Please, if you have an archivist with deep knowledge of the history of this region, send them along to aid us in solving this mystery. I am sure that your capital has plenty of such learned men and women. Perhaps one of them will succeed in reading this inscription. Of course, I will return the Vordakai, 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 Vorda. And it cuts off. Okay, so there's barely clearly a person named Vordakai causing trouble. A letter of threats. Baron Maker Varn, I'm writing to you as your ally and well-wisher. The reason for my letter is a lack of foresight in your actions. You're trying so hard to become friends with this Baron from New America. You invite him to pay you a visit. You assure him of sincerity. You even send rich gifts. Have you nothing more to do in your lands? I strongly recommend you stop flirting with this upstart person and turn your gaze to the affairs of the day. You are trying to cross paths with powerful forces that can reach you even in your own castle. You should know your place. With wishes of good health and a calm sleep, your friend. Well then. Fallen Warrior's Boot, Owlbear Omelet, Oysters, and a Enchanted Quarterstaff, the Crimson Counselor. A Fire Gemstone Monk Weapon with +2.
I'm there.
I mean, if I used it, then it might be worthwhile, but I don't think I can, so it don't matter. We've cleared up the area to the best of our abilities, anyways, and we should be going. You notice a huge black bird sitting still on a high fence by the exit, as if waiting for you. It's a raven, glistening black, and one of the largest ravens you've ever seen. As you approach, it tilts its head and affixes you with a beady black eye. As you're about to leave, you hear a cracked voice. Hypocrite! What did you say? What's the point of your false pity for these fools? Who allowed you to live? The raven gives off a sharp caw, almost a bark. With no shelter, no family, and no homeland, always on the run. All you did was prolong their suffering, and take pride in your... The raven gives another sharp caw, almost sneeringly. Chivalry! My, a talking crow. Now if you said anything worth hearing, that'd be impressive indeed. The raven bristles, its wings fluttering. You would do well to heed my words, thrall. As would all of you of the lesser races. You will swallow your words when the time comes. And the time comes for you all. Why are you here? Are you one of the thieves that lived in this miserable settlement? I'm not from Varnhold, but I'll find out what happened here. You? The raven gives a short barking caw. What arrogance! What pride! You, thrall? Do not follow one's crime with another. You will suffer the same fate. Who are you? The last thing I need to do is introduce myself to a filthy crow. Yeesh. Well, that's something, I guess. Alright, well, we cleared the area for the most part. We couldn't really do much beyond what we just did. But hey, there's a crow, I guess. I guess we can let down some evil vibes there, if we need to. Off we go. I think that's quite literally everything we have snagged. We don't need to grab the armor, honestly. I don't think it's worth it. So we'll leave the armor, we'll leave the mundane weapons, and we'll go from there. Yep, let's go. Off we go.
Follow if you dare.
And from here, we should be good to just dip out. Spriggan robes, eh, whatever. And yeah, I think we've got a rough idea. Apparently somebody named Vordakai was causing troubles. Pot shards lie scattered in the middle of the road. Traces of oil can be seen on the shards. So yeah, there's been a lot of mysteries coming from this town, at least in Steven's perspective. And there's not much to take, so best leave what we can and just go. Alright. There's the obsidian steel. There's the overgrown cavern. Rotten cave. Varnhold vanishing. And there was a place that they specified. I guess it was the overgrown cave, that might be it. An old cave that has been partially destroyed and can only be barely seen through the heavy vegetation. I think that's their place of residence, so I think that might be our next set of business, because we don't have much other clues to go off of, so might be wise to go over to them then. I guess we go down here? Yep. Let's enter the location. Gods think us of mortals as dogs to be trained, but we can still surprise them. Oh, barbarians. Interesting. Hey, who's that walking over there? A barbarian standing guard at the cave entrance calls over to you coarsely. It's dangerous to walk around here. Better turn back. The guard looks to you with their hands on their weapons, waiting for an answer. This is your only warning. Let me in or I'll force my way in. Hey, easy now. We have a cave full of fighters here. You want in? Enter. But if you're looking for trouble, it may be closer than you thought. The barbarian turns away, feigning indifference. You better. Good God. Yeah, we need to get a bit more evil with our actions, to some degree. It doesn't need to be perfect, but we need to,
I'm there.
we need to do some things, at least. This might be the cave that's causing trouble, so yeah. Okay, what's around here? Yoink.
I managed it.
Plus 4 bracers of
I
armor.
do what I must.
Some loot. Yes, we are taking their loot. It doesn't matter. Alright, barbarians, Bolgas, whoever that is. Let's take that edible moss while we can. Got some items here. Hello. A half-orc woman sits by the fire. Her clothes are made up of leather and fur, matching the rest of the barbarians. She frowns as she slides her finger along the map, crudely drawn on a crumpled sheet of paper. She lifts her gaze as she notices you. Huh. Guests. Who are you? If you're a friend, take a seat by the fire and let's talk. I'm Bolga from the Tiger Lord's tribe. I lead this group. Are you a chieftain? Me? No, just seasoned enough to lead a group. Our chieftain is Armag the Twiceborn. Bolga says the name proudly, as though expecting recognition or awe. He is back home in Numeria right now. What's your chieftain known for? Long ago, he was the greatest of Numerian chieftains, and Gorham's chosen. Armag was so strong no mortal could strike him down. It was only when Pharasma herself challenged him to battle that he fell, and only because her divine power. But now, Armag shamed her, and came back from the afterlife. Great Armag leads the Tiger Lords once more, now as Armag the Twiceborn. And soon, word of our exploits will spread all over Avestan. I didn't know there were half-orcs among the Numerian barbarians. The barbarian shrugs. The orcs have lands nearby. A lot can happen between two neighboring peoples. What are you doing here? We're looking for some ruins, or a cave, or something, I don't really know. Only Durgath knows exactly what we're looking for. He's a cleric, and he's our leader on this expedition. Well, him and the sisters. Who are these sisters? They're witches who serve Armag. They seem to know a lot about the world, history, gods, even other worlds. They're pretty smart talkers. You'd hardly believe the things they know. And they have these strange, unimaginable spells. When Armag ordered us to pack up for this expedition, we thought we'd be marching for a month. But they just waved their hands, whoosh. The tunnel of multicolored lights opened before us. The trip here only took us an hour. Can you imagine it? I wouldn't be surprised if you can't. Where might I find Durgath and these sisters? They're in our main camp here. Bolga points at a cross on our map. If you're looking to hire us or have some other business, come visit. It'd be much better than digging around in the dirt out here. Have you found anything of interest? It'd be nice if we had. So far it's just dirt, crap, and other monsters. Like we don't get enough of that back in Numeria. If we found this hole, the monsters that were living here, we took a beating doing it. But we managed to kick them out. Then, after we searched the place, we found out that it's just a regular cave. Nothing of note. After a day or so, we'll probably head out and keep searching. Do you know anything about the situation at Varnhold? Varnhold? Where's that? The barbarian looks down on her map and finds a rough sketch of the area. No idea. We've never been there. Tell me about Numeria. Numeria is the land with adamantine in its soil, and its people have adamantine in their hearts. The barbarians start solemnly, then their tone shifts. And since we have a bugger all beyond adamantine and courage, we just trade what we got. The Spriggans who lived in this cave are under my protection. Please leave so they can return to their home. The barbarian's jaw drops in surprise. What? Those ugly things? Are you crazy? I'm quite sane. Please try to understand. When you ousted the Spriggans, you create a serious political issue that I need to resolve. The barbarian shrugs. Well, sounds odd, but alright. We weren't planning on staying long anyways. Pack up, everyone. We're leaving. There we go.
I'm off.
And now the Spriggan's gonna return here. That's the hope, anyways. Okay. Probably gonna get a wild encounter, I would imagine. At least that's the thoughts, but whatever. I guess we'll see. I don't know.
Indeed.
I guess off we go. Spriggans are weird people, but whatever. It's their business, not mine. And we just dip, I think. But we do have evidence that we need to go somewhere, so we're just gonna have to go to the barbarian camp to figure out what's going on. At least that's one of the potential clues that we got. So, yeah. Off to the camp. We'll go down this way. We'll go to the Sepulcher of Forgotten Heroes to start with. See what's over there, and go from there. Okay. What's this got to do? A massive stone door blocks the entrance. It has no knobs, buttons, or other signs of how to unlock it. However, a thick patch of moss has been scraped off the door's hinges, hinting that it's been opened recently. Alright, start with Detect Magic. The door radiates a faint transmutation aura. Search for a way to unlock the door. You can't find any physical mechanisms. It seems the door must be opened through some magical means. Try to force the door open. You barely scratch the door. You may as well have tried forcing your way through the rock face around it. And it radiates faint transmutation aura, so we won't be able to get in there just yet. If we had to spell magic, it could work, but I don't think that's going to be... It might need, like, a very specific thing. Okay, so we're going to have to leave it for now, because we won't be able to get in there. As much as I'd like to go, but, you know, that's just part of the course. Alright. Well, we won't be able to go in there, so that's fine. we'll just keep going. We want to focus that direction, so I guess go this way. Ruined Tower. Let's do a quick save first, before we do. Save at 28. Let's check out the Ruined Tower. The ruins of the tower loomed over the surrounding plains, like a tombstone so old that time has worn away at the epitaph, as well the language it had written in. Each crumbling step of the giant stairway was as tall as a grown man's chest, and the huge portal where the door once stood was wide enough for our entire party to walk abreast through. We decided to climb the tower. Considering who's the best, go from there. It was hard to imagine how tall the building must have been before crumbling under its own weight. It's possible that even the owners would have towered above us, had they still been around. Even so, by using the cracks and pits of the stone wall, an experienced climber would likely be able to scale the tower. Samuel Rodriguez spat at his own hands and swiftly climbed up one of the high ridges. What remained was the second floor. There, the walls had deteriorated even further. They were covered with engravings, barely visible to symbols of some ancient language. After catching his breath, he decided to climb further. Climbing higher was no easy task. Samuel Rodriguez's fingers slipped on wet moss, and the rocks crumbled beneath his feet. Perched atop the shelf on the opposite wall, a large black raven watched Samuel Rodriguez ascent intently. Clinging to the signs that were carved on the wall, Samuel Rodriguez slowly began moving upwards. At last he reached the top. An uneven slab was all that was left, and the spire that once must have reached to the lower clouds. Alas, there was no treasure to be found there, unless you're willing to count the magnificent view of the surrounding area. A fire flickered in the distance. Someone had set camp there. Finding out he had seen enough, Samuel Rodriguez carefully descended. After that, we decided to turn away and leave. We walked away, leaving the stone colossus to its eternal slumber. It's a shame we couldn't research that information there, but that's fine. We'll live with that negative situation, but we'll go to the Blood Furrows in the meantime, considering it's on the way. Oh, okay. It's this area. We're currently slow, so we might want to set up camp for a short time. Yeah, if we set up camp, no. Let's hold off for a sec. Alright, let's see. What we got here? It looks like the horse fell while trying to climb the rock. It must have been terrified to attempt such a thing. It appears that there's some other people that have died here. The Barbarian seems to have died from massive blood loss. Horrible wounds cover his body, though his hand is still clutching a knife. We got Durance, a club of some kind. Got some potions of some kind. The horse's legs are covered with deep wounds. They seem to be bark marks, but the animal died by human hands. Its throat is nearly slit, has been neatly slit. The inscription on the stone is made with blood. The text says, "Running is no help. The grass betrays. Stay with me. Better die than become food for." And then it cuts. So apparently there's something around here that's causing trouble. Oh! Hello! Ah! Who's it charging? It's charging Steven, it looks like. Okay. Oh. Back off, Samuel.
Out of my way! Out of my way!
Mistral, you want to back off, because you are supposed to be at a range. Now Steven will be the focus, good. Are you kidding? Okay. That's Not fun. Well, at least we know that it's dangerous. We might want to rest here then, for a sec. Alright, rest will take 9 hours, but we'll get the Galrago. Wow, we're getting rations constantly, so I might have to reduce my total carry supply a bit. If we're getting this much rations constantly, then might not be might be worth it. Okay. Now that we're rested, we're gonna want to bark skin. I'll save the rest just in case. Let's see if there's anything else before we trigger the fight once again. Deep furrows mar the grass in the area as if a huge plow had been put to work. What's this? There's a deep hole in the ground made recently. At the bottom you can see a pile of bloody rags that look like the remnants of some barbarians' clothing. Okay, let's get on here for now. Okay. Do a quick save. Alright.
I am never wrong.
Let's put on Good Hope, I guess. For extra buff, and let's go. Haha! Alright, Ancient Bullet. It's time to engage. Ah, that's 94 damage. That's not fun. Let's turn on Empower while we're at it. If the wolf goes down next. Okay, come on. Hey, 151 damage. The power of a missile from Monsoon. Well worth it. Okay, there's an amulet of some kind. A amulet of Mighty Fist +3. Ew. Well, we've already got one, so we don't need it. Okay. Belt of Physical Flow. +4 to Strength and Dex. Well, it would be a boost to my stats. I would be able to get rid of the Steady Hand, at least. And we don't exactly need a bonus to Con. Not for complete purposes. At the very least, the Dex is more important. The gloves, though, we can move elsewhere. So who's going to wear them? That's the question. Let's take off Samuel's gloves. So we can give him the... Do we need Steady Hand? It would give him True Strike, which is, in general, just a benefit. And when we get him a better half plate, we can probably rock that. I could also give it to somebody else. Full plate +2, that's an 11. Versus the half plates +2. Let's swap it, I think. That's better, but we want... We'll give Mistral half plate, we'll give Samuel full plate. That way you can take a little bit more advantage from that. Okay, there we go. And we can have Steven take advantage of the athlete gloves. There we go. Just in the off chance it's actually better, but yeah. We'll go from there. Our wolf is unfortunately dead, but that's fine. We can just quickly rest up and get another one, I suppose. It's not a complete loss after all. Okay, we won't be able to get there. Thing over here that might be worth interest. Probably not, but never hurts to check. Okay. Oh, we can go across this ledge. That's probably an item just waiting for us. Yep, bingo. Some broiled tusk water oysters. Alright, let's go. Clearly nothing else here. We're definitely going to learn these recipes, though. Copy recipe of all 4. Alright, price in descending order. Probably doesn't matter whether its price is different or not. Okay. Kobold relics. Not sure what those are going to be used for, but they'll be handy, I'm sure. I think. Okay. Let's move on our merry way. Go down here. A bit too far, but that's fine. There's someone on the road. Get ready. Who might it be? Nober and Barbarians. Okay, let's do a quick save. Just in case. Okay. A small but well-armed group moves across the flatlands. Tattoos, leather, and fur clothing, bone amulets, and their belts. These are barbarians. Kelots, to be precise. Probably from neighboring Numeria, or maybe lands even further north. They stop when they see you, hands on their weapons and frowns in their faces. Who are you, then? What do you want? The barbarians watch you sternly, their hands still on their weapons. One of your people seems to be sick. Can I help? We don't need your help. The Kelot starts, her voice grim, but he's interrupted when one of the barbarian women begins coughing uncontrollably. If you don't need it, just shut up so I can... The barbarian woman breaks into another short coughing fit, then spits on the ground. The phlegm is blue. I'm not gonna die for your pride. Yes, I'm sick. Caught blue split somewhere in the Barrens. Don't worry, I don't think it's catching. If you heal me, I can pay in gold. Alright, fine. Pay up. The barbarian woman gives you several coins for your efforts. After you heal the woman's disease, she breathes in deeply, relishing the sensation. Ah, thank you. It was a nasty thing, let me tell you. Won't let you take a breath in or let gases out. I'm Nober. We're from Numeria, part of the Tiger Lord's tribe. We're just minding our own business here, not looking to pick a fight. We don't want any trouble, and we're not after anyone. From Numeria, you're pretty far from home. Not so far. The Tiger Lords travel around a lot. From the World Runes to Iobaria. Hell, these lands were once practically home to us. We used to clear them damned Fae from the Gnarl Marshes on a regular basis. Well, now we're here again. That's the nomad's life, you see. Never know when you'll find yourself tomorrow. Do you know anything about the situation in Varnhold? Varnhold? Never heard of it. Whatever's going on there, we've got nothing to do with it. What are you searching for? Nikilla frowns. No idea, really. Durgath just says we should search for caves and ancient ruins, and he'd tell us if it was what we were looking for. You ask me, we're just wasting our time out here. But Chieftain knows best. Who's Durgath? An old cleric. He's seen a lot, he knows a lot, and it seems like he's the only one who has any idea what the hell we're looking for out here. Are you the only group of Numerians out here? Kidding? Of course not. Our main camp's over the hills there. If you're feeling gutsy, come pay us a visit. Have you found anything interesting in the area? I wish. We've been searching the area for days now, but all we found was a cave with some grind-faced half-men. No ancient ruins, no treasures, not a damn thing. Alright. I'll just go through the, well, I might as well. I hate this question. Well, Numeria is a hard land made of hard people. Ages ago, stars rained from the sky and left a bunch of chunks of sky metal across the land. Some as small as your finger, others as big as a mountain. Lots of the chunks just sit still and do nothing, and we mine them for adamantine. Others make monsters or diseases or radiation or stuff like that. Technology. Nober spits the last words, almost like a curse. You don't like technology. Why would I? Bad enough it brings us so much trouble on its own, but it also attracts villains from all over Avestan, like flies to a steaming pile of shite. That's the that technically alone. Ugh. Tell me about your tribe. The Tiger Lords are an ancient, glorious tribe, one of the strongest in all of Numeria. We used to own half of the stolen lands ourselves, but that was a long time ago, back in the time of the great Armag. But now that spirit of Armag's been reborn in the body of our new chieftain. You mark me, words of our heroic deeds will spread across Golarion once again. Alright then, safe travels.
In due time.
Okay, well, we got some gold out of it, so I'm not complaining. Gather some herbs. Gather that, whatever it is. Another coin. Nice. Let's dip, and we're good to go. Well, if we're gonna find any information, the best course of action would be to go to the Kelids, wouldn't it? So the sooner the better. At the very least, the worst case is that we don't get anything. But hey, best case is we get quite a lot. Okay, there appears to be a corpse here. Fun, I guess.
Interesting.
Oh, more items. Another Rostlanic coin. Grab those. And let's reorganize over here, and we're good to go. Got quite a bit of items. +2 quarterstaff. To give you a rough idea, this staff basically casts spells of some kind. Sling staff. I mean, it'd be pretty good if we had a proficiency in that. But we don't, so kind of a dump weapon. For now. Do a quick save, just to be safe. But then again, for this part of the game, it's actually a pretty good weapon. Okay. On the low grounds among the hills, some Numerian barbarians have set up camp. While obviously set up recently as a place to rest, it was thoroughly constructed. Along with the stake palisade, the Numerians had reinforced their camp with a deep moat, spotting the body of some unlucky thief at the bottom. It seemed they made a good call. Guarding the entrance was our old acquaintance Nober, the man whose group we met in the hills previously. While his meeting was none too friendly, he did invite us to enter and led us to his leader. We were led to a man named Durgath, a middle-aged Kelid with a gorgeous mane, once charcoal black, now salt and pepper, as well as bronze skin, hardened by the sun, wind, and time, to the point that it almost looked like oak bark. Speaking with assertive tones, he invited to dine with the Tiger Lords. That was the name of their tribe, and spent the night in their camp. Any business we might have with the tribe, he said, could be discussed in the morning, once everyone was rested and refreshed. Not wanting to offend the barbarians who'd proven to be commendably hospitable, we accepted the invitation. Within minutes, we were seated by the bonfire with goblets in our hands. As guests, our goblets were wrought with skillfully decorated silver, with intricate carvings depicting scenes of battle. The cupbearer filled everyone's goblets with wine. When Durgath raised his cup, officially starting to feast, the Baron I don't know the traditions here. That kind of sucks. Well, if they're barbarians, then they probably prefer the, I don't know. Give me a second. I might actually Google this, because there is actually no choice here. What was it called? Okay, so from here, okay. Inconsequent debates. Okay, that's another thing that I'll worry about. Okay, the Varnhold vanishing. Okay. So, yeah, we've gone to that, that. Okay, we've already passed here, basically. Sorry if I'm taking a while. I'm just going through every step here. Okay. You can gain or lose favor with the Barbarians by your actions. The optimum choices are Spilled Wine on the Ground, Ask the Tiger Lords, and the Bard's Song. Okay. If Jubilist or Amiri are in your party, you can follow their cue for the first option. Okay. Simple enough. Alright, spilled the wine on the ground. Looking at the Baron with respect, the Numerians spilled their wine too. It was apparently a barbarian tradition, offering the first cup to the spirits. Only after the cupbearer filled their goblets again did the Numerians start to drink. And so did we. Normally I wouldn't do that, you know, research that, but for this certain instance, I kind of want to be on the good terms with the Barbarians for now. The main course, unsurprisingly, was meat. While hunting in the hills, the Numerians had killed deer and 2 wild boars, all now roasting over an open fire. As the tribe's guest, we were offered the best pieces. Fierce in battle, the Numerians were equally fierce at the table. They frantically tore the meat apart with their knives, bare hands, and teeth, as though attacking the throats of their worst enemies rather than eating roast venison. Only one camp inhabitant didn't join the dinner. Far from the festivities, a slim woman wrapped in a grey cloak sat alone, her face hidden behind a piece of cloth. She was so quiet and still. At first I didn't realize she was living a being at all. The Baron asked the Tiger Lords who she was. Glancing cautiously between Durgath and the woman, one Numerian explained that the woman was one of the Defaced Sisters. Half priestess, half wizard. While they may travel along with the Numerians, they never ate at the same table. Judging by the tones the Barbarians used when speaking of the woman, it was easy to tell that none of them held any warm feelings towards these Defaced Sisters. After everyone had eaten their fill, it was time for entertainment. The Barbarians began singing a drawling song in their guttural language, known as Hallet. Later, one of the Numerians explained that it was a ballad about a brother and sister, who defeated a huge metal spider. The song that followed was a comedic piece about the adventures of a stupid werewolf. Numerians all sang together. It was clear that each of them knew that one heart by heart. Almost everyone clapped to the rhythm, though some triumphed or thumped their knife handles onto the shields, and our half-orc acquaintance Bolga accompanied the song on a vargan. Once the song was over, Durgath appealed to his guests. Us, to surprise our hosts. The Baron decided our best choice would be... I do believe it's the Bard song? Or one of the options that requires a skill check. Okay. I say we go with the diplomacy option. The tale of how we defeated a Stag Lord. And we'll go with Senator Armstrong, who's the most diplomatic of the group. Our tale of the battle and heroic deeds just is what the Barbarians were looking for. They listened eagerly, chimed in on each detail, and laughed and clapped at the most epic moments. Even Durgath found himself smiling and nodding as he listened to our story. Finally, the drinking and singing came to an end. Only bones remained from the feast, and the bonfire had burned down to an ash. Satisfied, the Numerians retired to their tents. And now we got our wolf back.
I haven't seen my sisters for several days. I'm afraid they may be in trouble.
As you approach the barbarian leader, you can't help but overhear part of his conversation with a woman you recognize from the feast before. Her face remains hidden, and she sounds extremely worried.
This whole land is nothing but trouble. You want me to risk my life and the lives of my people to do your dirty work? Go ahead, ask Armag to give the order. Oh, but Armag stayed back in Numeria, which means I am the one making the decisions here.
The cleric Durgath shakes his head in disappointment, likely at the Defaced Sister.
But what about my sisters? Something terrible could happen to them.
You sisters insisted on this expedition. So it's your price to pay. With your blood, not ours. Something terrible could happen, you say? It is too late for that. We already lost good men on this pointless journey to nowhere. Whatever Armag needs, it's not here, and it wasn't here from the start. But you didn't come here for him, did you? You came for your own reasons. You want some magic toy that once belonged to the ancient Cyclops. Well, I'm not leading my men to their deaths for that.
To God.
This conversation is over. You want help? Why not ask our guests to help you? If you can afford their rates, that is. As for me, my single remaining goal is to get my people home alive, and well, and as soon as possible.
The woman leaves, sobbing. Durgath turns to you. Good morning. Well, let's get down to business, shall we? Introductions aren't necessary, Baron. I know who you are. Let's discuss how we can be useful to one another. You know me. How?
How do you think? We keep an eye on everything that happens in the region. It's smart to know our potential employers and our potential enemies.
Alright, who was that woman?
Wish I knew who these witches are and where they came from. Our chieftain, the great Armagh, the spirits bless him, trusts them as if they were holy oracles. He sent us with them to these dead hills, and none but the sisters and the chieftain himself know why. Who am I to confront the chieftain? So now we wander these lands, chasing the unknown.
Do you know anything that happened to Varnhold? You seem to know a lot.
Varnhold, huh? Isn't that the village Maegor Varn got from the Ristovic Sword Lords? I know Varn. He's not the best fighter, but not the worst. As for what happened there, I wouldn't know.
So, how can we be useful to each other?
I'm afraid we can't. At least not yet. I'd be happy to take a new job, but our chieftain's orders were strict. Search the location and come back with a report. But if you could help us here, say, by finding whatever these witch sisters are looking for, or maybe just making them disappear forever. Mark my word, Baron. The Tiger Lords never forget those who helped them.
Interesting. There's a whole army of you here. How did you manage to get so far?
None of your business, actually. But just to reassure you, we weren't sneaking into your lands without permission, I'll answer. It was magic. The sisters opened some strange tunnel, and we used it to get here from Numeria. Gorham witnessed my words. I'm no coward, but I'd rather march for a month through all the river kingdoms than use that damned tunnel again. It was strange. Wrong. Just like those witches themselves.
What are you looking for here anyways?
I wish I knew. The sisters are looking for something, but they won't tell anyone what it is. I guess it's some antique that used to belong to the Cyclops. Some magic trinket or something. As for me, the only thing I'm looking for is a good reason to quit this nonsense and return to Numeria as soon as possible.
How did it go? Did you find anything of interest anyways?
If we did, do you think we'd still be here now? The only thing to be found in these hills is one's own death. A group of my men entered a cave that turned out to be a spriggan den. They barely survived the encounter. Also, we found the ruins of some old tower, ancient as the world itself, and useless as this expedition. There is nothing to be found here, except, like I said, for one's own death.
Let me ask you a question then.
Ask away, why not? I don't promise I'll answer, though.
What do you know about the Cyclopses?
Not that much. Long ago, these lands were part of their empire. They were a great people back then, used unbelievable magic, and possessed treasures beyond count. Ages passed, and their empire crumbled into dust. Cyclops became wild and forgot all about what they once used to be. But the ruins, yes, the ruins remember everything.
Alright, tell me about yourself.
I'm Dugath, son of Gordir and Harith Three Fingers from the Tiger Lord's tribe. My entire life, I've served Gorham, first on the battlefield, sword in my hand, and later with prayer as well. I've fought in battles all across the river kingdoms, in Yoberia, Galt, Ustalev, My price is high, my hand is steady, and my sword is deadly.
Finishing this speech, the man gives you a wide grin, showing off several missing teeth. Alright, tell me about Gorm then.
Our Lord in Iron doesn't like empty talk. He's the god of those who act instead of chatter. His palm blesses every sword ever crafted, and wherever at least two men meet in battle, he is there with them. Even orcs worship the god of battle, and not only that, they imagine he's an orc too. It's all nonsense, of course, but there may be a grain of truth to it. For anyone can aspire to be like him. A human, an orc, and even an elf. Anyone who grips his iron to make his enemy bleed.
Alright, tell me about your tribe then.
There are many tribes in Nomeria. Each does its best to survive. The Black Horses sell adamantine. The Blood Pikes rob caravans, and their white scars lick the boots of the Technic League. As for us, the Tiger Lords, we are mercenaries, and the best ones in this part of Avestan. Remember this, Baron. If you keep your throne long enough, we'll meet again. Sooner or later, fighting side by side, or otherwise. Who knows?
Alright, tell me about your chieftain then.
He's a strong fighter, brave one. He says he's Armagh, an incarnation of a hero from the old times. Just don't ask if I believe it. Armagh is smart. He knows how to do business. If he'd only pay less attention to what those witches whisper, he'd be a perfect chieftain.
Alright, tell me about Numeria then.
Eons ago, stars rained down on Numeria. Pieces of metal, both dead and living ones, fell from the sky. Since then, metal monsters roam those lands, and the grounds hold a wealth of adamantine, among other valuable things. Weaklings don't survive there. As for us, Numerian Kellids, we grew up on that land. We drank its poisoned waters and breathed its toxic air. Metals from the depths infused our bones and muscles. No one can beat us. If there were anyone capable of bringing us down, it would be ourselves.
The cleric gives you a bitter smile as he says this. Alright, thank you for your answers. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I should probably go and deal with your Defaced Sisters problem. Of course, I do plan on just getting aggressive with them, but yeah. I plan to kill the sisters, at least that's the hope. And it seems the Raven's here again. Fun. The Raven watches you attentively. Doug the Merchant. Ah. Another potential traitor. Well, it's more loot in our pockets, at least. I'm not going to complain on that, at least. Alright, Bolga? I'd need to check up on them. An elderly barbarian waves his hand, inviting you to come closer. Welcome, honored guest. Would you like to buy or sell anything? Who are you? Named Doug. Was a hell of a fighter when I was younger, but truth, those years pass before you know it. The health, too. The barbarian raises his hand, and you can see he only has 2 fingers left. So now my job is equipment and provisions, along with a bit of trading from time to time. Alright, show me your wares. Let's sell some of the stuff we don't need. Shaken and sickened, but a +3 weapon all the same. I'll sell the more mundane stuff, because it's just cheap. Okay, come on. Alright. We don't need the +3 amulets, braces of armor, +2 belts, dueling headband. Offer the rest. Now we got 47. Alright, price in descending order. Shock dueling sword, a furious bardiche. A furious bardiche. I think that's an extra 2d6 at the cost of d6 of damage. But it is a 6-foot reach weapon, and that would be an upgrade for one of our characters at least. I don't know. It's food for thought though. +6 belt giant strength though. Ooh, that's good. We need the money for it though. Let's get the potions of cure light wounds. We'll get the restorations, because always nice to have. Get some reduced potions. Heroism we can keep away. We'll get the Hydra though. Okay, do we have any butter that we can buy? Price in descending order. Rice. We've got plenty of camping supplies, so we're not in too dire need of those. We'll get the rice, we'll get the flour. Do we need meat? Might as well grab it. Tenderloin? Yeah, I'll grab those. Mastodon meats. Might as well. Alright, let us get that weapon then, the Furious Bardiche. Done. Alright, Furious Bardiche is going to be swapped with Mistral's current weapon. And considering she's going to be focusing Bardiches from the near future, this is going to be her weapon from now on, essentially. It's only a 3 to 12 damage, but it's still better than a 3 to 10. And it'll deal an extra 2d6, so it's not bad. Because, yep, Furious. Oh, when a wielder is raging or under the effects of a rage spell. Oh, bugger. Okay. Okay, nope, let's swap it out. I could actually give it to Samuel then. Because, well, while he's got the scythe, I think having him with an a long-range weapon might actually be better in the long term. Undead Bane, Frost Scythe +2. Yeah, it's going to deal 24 to 3/3, but it's going to be a +4 if he rages, so that's going to help his 2 hits by a significant margin. Okay. Let's go talk with this Defaced Sister.
You, our guest. The Baron, am I right? I'm sorry you witnessed that unpleasant scene. If I may ask, what is your name?
A slim figure stands eerily still wrapped in a cloak and hiding her face in her hands. If you hadn't seen her moving before, you could easily mistake her for a statue. However, as you approach, she lowers her hands from her face, and golden green eyes peer at you through the holes of the cloth covering your face. You don't need to know my name. As I glance over to the crow who's constantly watching me.
So be it. Everyone has their secrets, Baron.
Who are you?
I am one of those who call themselves the Defaced Sisters. We've rejected our names and our faces in service to benevolent spirits. I'm sorry that I cannot reveal our true destiny to you yet, but believe me when I say our mission is extremely important. Not just for us, not just for the tribe, but for the entire world.
Right. What are you looking for here, anyways?
It is not yet time to answer this question. We are searching for ancient ruins, the remains of structures built by the previous holders of these strange lands. That is all I can tell you, for now. I understand that you want to know more, but have no doubt, you will in time.
You speak quite a bit in riddles.
Don't be wary of riddles. Those wise enough to solve them eventually learn much more than those who always seek straight answers.
What were you and Durgath arguing about anyways?
My sisters. They each went out on their own quests and never returned. Not one of the three. I can understand Durgath. He doesn't trust us. But by refusing to help my sisters and me, he puts himself, his people, countless innocent souls in grave danger. If only I could soften his impertinent heart.
Do you have any idea where your sisters might be?
Do you have a map? I can provide you some direction. One of my sisters went to the Sepulcher of Forgotten Heroes. Another went looking for the Forsaken Mound. And the third was going to visit the ruins of the City of the Hollow Eyes. I won't lie, these places are all very dangerous. But searching for lost truth always involves danger.
Alright. What compensation can I expect for my help?
With the most valuable treasure of all, truth.
Yeah, that doesn't line your pockets. You have a whole army here. How did you manage to get... Well, no, I've already know that. Do you know anything about what happened in Varnhold?
Dark things tend to happen in that land. I can only guess to the fate of Varnhold. My 3 sisters know more. Help me find them, and you'll get your answers. If the spirits are kind, it will happen before it's too late.
I'm going to avoid asking about just other things. There's no need to.
If in your travels you meet my sisters, please help them, and I will help you in return. Remember this word, Gahab. That is what the previous inhabitants of these lands, the Cyclopses, called darkness they so worshipped. If a door shut and lockless bars your path, this word might be your key. May kind spirits guide you in your travels.
Right. Alright, let's pick up our wolf, and we've got Cold Trail of sorts, but we're trying our best. It's not like we got much else better to do, so we're gonna have to just trust that this is enough information that we gotta go with. But now we have 3 locations we gotta visit. And each with their own sister, I would imagine. Let's see. The Forsaken Mound, we've got the Precipice Trail. There's the Sepulcher of Forgotten Heroes. And I guess up north is, yes, the City of Hollow Eyes. Before we continue on our venture, I'm actually going to make my way down. And I'm going to go to the Sepulcher first. And I'm going to actually go back to do some kingdom things, because I do believe that I can return a quest. And it will save us some time by going now than later. Plus, there's probably some edicts that we can cover real quick in the meantime. I do believe there is another quest that we have to cover, so all the more reason to do so. Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Key power. Speak the word Keb. Without a sound, the door slides to the side, revealing the passage beyond. Now, is there anything else I need to worry about here? Probably enemies, but you never know. Let's do a quick save. Knowledge World.
Vordakai is our master. We are his humble servants.
More Vordakai. Huh.
I'm off.
It's not good. Ah. Brag. Hello. A barbarian is sitting leaning against a wall, surrounded by dead bodies. He seems to be barely alive. His entire face is a bloody wound, tattered scraps of skin dangling from it. As he hears your footsteps, he blindly turns towards the south and raises his sword, with immense effort. Friend or foe? Durgath sent us. Durgath, of course. The old man would never leave anyone behind. It's too late now. Only one left to save is me, and you may as well not bother. I'll be joining the rest and dead soon enough. What happened here? That cursed witch brought us here. Blabbered on and on about some exalted mission. Promised us Cyclops treasures. Well, look what we got. As soon as we entered, dead Cyclopses attacked us. Then there was a flash of light, and everything went insane. It was like a red-hot nail was driven into my brain. Had an irresistible urge to kill. Didn't matter who. I resisted it. Barely. But most of us weren't so lucky. It was a slaughter. A nightmare where it was impossible to tell friend from foe. We tried to retreat, but they followed. One grabbed my head and squeezed, almost cracked me open like a walnut. My eyes... Last thing I saw was his fingers. If Varha hadn't chopped off his hand and dragged me out of there, I'd be dead already. She slammed the door right on their noses. Oh, Varha. Haven't heard from her for a while. Probably dead now. Nice treasure hunting trip we had, huh? Who are you? I'm Bragg, son of Jurgendil, of the Tiger Lord's tribe. Came from Numeria. If you meet my people, tell them where and how I died. Alright. I'll put an end to you, for your sake. Gorham, I'm coming. The whisper leaves the barbarian's stiffening lips as he clings to his blade with the last of hope, with the last of his strength. With a powerful punch, no less, I'm sure. At least he died with some honor, at least. I'm probably going to want to ditch the Earthbreaker, actually. Okay, so long Earthbreaker. Masterwork Axe can stay. And we've got White Bit here. Okay. Where's this lead, though? But it sounds like there's Cyclopses in this dungeon of sorts, so all the more to prep, I guess. Okay, there's an orange door, and then there's a yellow door. So there is this, mainly. Okay. So, I'm familiar with this dungeon to a certain extent, because I've had to read up on a guide on it. But, to give you a rough idea, it's basically a puzzle.
I know what to do.
I'm not going to explain how this puzzle is, I'm just going to show you what you need to do, more than anything. And then we'll go from there. Okay. Give everybody that. Alright, Stephen Armstrong there. Okay, Samuel. And actually, I'm going to give this one to Monsoon, specifically. It might be better for him. Okay. Actually, I just need to give Magic Fang to the Wolf. Okay, let's give... I guess we'll hold off on the energy resist for now. But we will give out Mage Armor for Compson. And I'll give out Bless. Just for the buff. Alright, now we go. This should be enough buffs.
I'll take care
Just
of
to be
it.
safe, I will get Remove Fear on. I'll get Delay Poison as well. See Invisibility. That should do it. Hey, Barlow. Nice to see you here. I'm not sure when I'm going to be ending stream. I'll probably do it in 30 minutes, but yeah, but that's because I got potential life stuff, so I'll stream for as long as I can. I'll do a quick save because there's some Cyclopses, and we're gonna thwomp them out of the Flamba out of existence, I guess. Alright, we'll get the Cyclops over here, split up the group, basically. Okay, they use prayer to debuff us. Not too hard to deal with, though.
In due time.
Alright. Magic items, actually. All of it. Okay, Masterwork Great Axe, Hide Armor. Okay, so it appears the clerics are a bit better in gear.
If you dare.
But otherwise, the body has been horribly mutilated. It looks like the huge cyclopean palm crushed his skull and removed the brain. Huh.
Vordakai be praised through the centuries, for he is the greatest of the greatest.
More ominous depictions, I see. +3 padded armor, and the Fallen Warrior's buckle. Fun, I think. Anything around here beyond that? Nope. Okay. Then off we go. Organize up. And we've got 2 sets of Barbarians here.
It's time to act!
Alright. We'll have the wolf go over there. We'll have Steven focus on them. And there we go. Aha. I'm still confused how Sundowner is doing the ranged attacks when it should be Mistral. I'm not sure how he got that ability. He shouldn't be fighting from a 6-foot radius range, I don't think. Well, whatever. Not my problem. Not completely, anyways. Okay.
I'm always ready.
I'm gonna turn off the blind trick, actually. At the very least, that'll prevent us from needing to actually worry about it. Ah! Cone of Cold. Fun. Well, that was an unexpected trap that I didn't see. Great. Okay, that's another button. Appears we got a red button. That probably leads to the very beginning, actually. Okay. Take out the Cyclops here. There we go. Yeah, no, apparently they have more reach than I thought. Alright, well, I think it's a bug, but I'm not complaining if it's a bug.
I'm there.
Okay, is there anything else here? Aside from the orange door, there's only the red button, so we might have to go back, actually. Okay. You hear the sound of doors opening somewhere deep in a dungeon. If I'm not mistaken, it should be this door, because that had the red symbol. And looking at it, yes, I can actually go through there now. Let's reorganize everybody. And off we go. Alright, so there's a trap. We'll worry about the details of that trap later. Sundowner will be responsible for disarming it, or trying to. Oh, nearly. Okay. Okay, Sundowner, we need you to disable that trap. Alright. Ah, bugger. Are you kidding?
Still got it.
Okay. Yeah, negative levels, not fun. Are they temporary, though? That's the question. Prayer enemies, no. Not what we're focused on. Here we go. Negative levels. They are temporary, because they have a duration. Good. In that case, what I can easily do is get some restoration on these puppies. Price in ascending order. How's our restorations looking? Or at least our stockpile of them. Lesser, we've got an abundance. We don't have normal restorations, though. It don't look like anyways. Let's see. Remove blindness, heroism, summon monster, false life, divine power, dimension door mass. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have lesser restoration, or rather the restoration scrolls. Kinda sucks, but it's an easy... Well, it's not completely easy fix, but I should be able to get restoration at some point. Just not sure when. Oh well. We'll worry about those later, for now. It only takes an hour to recover, so... At the very least, if I do run out of low levels, then... At the very least, if I do run out, then I can always find other means to heal. First, let's organize.
I do what I must.
Alright, reorganize. Let's get some heals out. Cure critical wounds on Steven should be fine. Twice over. Get some cure moderates. A cure light just to be sure. And that's everybody except for the wolf, which should only need a cure serious. No, actually. That is just a lag from the game, I think. We are actually... Yeah, no, we've got Feather Step, is what you're seeing. Slow would actually make us much worse. It's just, for some reason the game likes to be very slow at times, so... It makes you look like you're going at a snail's crawl for some reason. Composite Shortbow. Freedom Movement Wand. Okay. And a Robe of Fire. Okay. Apparently... Yeah, apparently I've got another robe type.
I don't even want to know.
Alright, let's disable the trap first.
Well, it's done now.
And let's see what this is. Rust, or just a coin, I guess. Ah, another trap. Probably one of the, AOA things again. Okay, trap has been disabled successfully. And we've got a new door entrance, it seems. Not entirely fun, but that's fine.
I'm there.
Alright, reorganize. Alright. There we go. Steven takes up the brunt, and off we go. Alright, let's yoink their loot before we move on. Masterwork Longsword, we'll leave the gear. Composite Bow is always good. Leave the Greatsword. And Masterwork, once again. Done and done. That just leaves us with a few new rooms, which we can't enter currently. A shame. Okay, in that case, how do I get through? Okay. Okay, so there's the toggle plates here. One has already been pressed up. Alright, so if we press down there, then it should open up, I think. But we will need someone over there to do it, so...
Follow if you dare.
Alright, let's organize. Let's get our... Who do we not need as much? Compson is probably the go-to, because he's just a buffer and we've already buffed, technically. So we'll quickly rush him over to activate the green button. And then, with that, that'll close that room and open that. And that just leaves that room, so... Alright, let's see. If we activate that... then it will open up which one? It'll open up the orange room, which is there. Okay, so we open up the orange room then. It's annoying, but we have to do it. Oh no, we open up the red room. That presses down. Okay, so there's 3 plates. That leaves that one open. Okay. Is there another room with button? Okay, so first and foremost, there's that button, and then there's this button, which are both opened up. We need to press that one, and that will reveal yellow, basically. Okay, is there any other ones that we need to open up? No. Okay. So, with this, it should open up to something. Ah, right. I know what I can do. I go back. Thompson presses this button. Wait for everybody to reconvene.
I tire of waiting.
Keep Compson on this side, because we're going to need everybody else for this. Here we are.
I do what I
Get everybody
must.
organized there.
This is my path.
Now we press the button. And then we go. We've got 2 paths ahead of us. We got the button here. And we got this one here that we can't access, so we won't be able to touch those just yet. But we can go down here. So let's go down here and see what we find. We're going to be down a party member, but that's fine. I can live with that.
Oh, I
There we go.
managed it.
Okay. We've got insane barbarians here, so let's deal with them. Alright, there we go. And that leaves us with a blue button. Got a composite longbow. Got some more loot. Greatsword, nah. There we go. That's the loot done. Let's grab that. And now we've got the blue button, which we can press down. And Knowledge World. There is an inscription on the slab, written in ancient Cyclopean language. You've no idea what it means. Probably another Vordakai passage, I would assume. Which just pertains to the details of, pertains to his details, I guess. Okay, there's a room here of some kind. Another zombie Cyclops, most likely, yep. Okay. Channel negative energy.
Interesting.
Another you. Ow. Let's grab those. Grab this. Let's grab the corpses here. Mainly their axes. And we should be good to go. And we got another missive here. Or text.
This is not possible.
I can't do it with everybody else. I need to actually do it with, yeah, I need to do it with him. Otherwise I won't be able to learn it. Which is fine. Alright. Start disabling traps. Okay, there's a secret wall here, so let's check this out first. With loot behind it, obviously. Tons of gold. Some citrine glass. Nice. And now we situate ourselves over here to see what's what. And we
my
take out the
abilities.
Cyclopses here. Naturally. I am definitely going to need to give them Precise Strike, I think, if I want to increase their damage. It would certainly help given an extra d6 for the combats, so it's not a bad idea. And we've got an orange button, so nice. Grab these. That's 2 of the rooms built open. Alright, now we dip out, I guess, over to here. And we go over to here, and we reunite with Compson, who we can now go through to here with, which will probably yield the same results. Grab this. Got an orange door there, I think. Oh, it's a timed thing. Okay. So I won't be able to actually open that just yet. But hey, it's something.
Enemy approaching.
Ah, specters. Not fun.
This will
We'll take the specters as a focus. We'll move back for Samuel. Monsoon can move back. There we go. And because they're spirits, it should be fine. Oh, yeah, negative levels. Oh dear. That's not fun. Let's activate Bane Weapon. Back off. The wolf. Alright, good. Yeah, negative levels. Fun. Alright, Knowledge World.
It is done.
Cry not for the dead, for they are blessed. Cry for yourself, for life is suffering.
Well. Alright, so there's a 3-way door with a light blue, white, and orange color. There's a teal colored door, it seems. And there's the orange door here, which connects over to here, which would lead us to another area. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Compson go right back over to the orange door here, because we will need him to activate that door for us to go through. Which, it makes sense. We need it to open up this door so we can go over through to this door here. And considering there's no enemies, no need to worry about it. Before I do go, though, because I used it, I can't actually research RIP. Anyways, it's not that big a deal. We'll just have to use Compson when dealing with slabs next time. Okay. With that, the door opens on these areas. And we can rush on through to this side. Okay. Oh, whoops.
Move.
Alright.
I'll make my own legend.
Alright, we're dealing with Soul Eaters. Oh boy. Come on.
Oh! You should have run!
Okay, come on. Focus on one at a time. Okay. Because Steven is the focus, most of the Fortitude saves will probably miss their chance. Okay. Rock. Missed. And now we're left with the other door, it seems. Ah, another trap. Good thing I have Sundowner. Yeah, we need him to go here, specifically, just so we can disable real quick. There we go.
Managed it.
Anything else in this room before I dip? There's an item here, so that's nice. Another ancient scrap of spirits or script covered leather. Probably the demon leather, I would imagine, or whatever that thing is called. I forget the specifics, but it summons something dangerous, putting it lightly. We don't answer that just yet until we have our individual with us.
It's done now.
Alright, we'll have Sundowner try to disable it. There we go. Another trap dealt with. Now we've got the white door here. Again, Sundowner. Okay, what else we got? We've got a corridor down here.
Do what I must.
Over there!
Okay.
Oh, I managed it.
Now is this a timed door? I think it is. Open somewhere. Yeah, it begins ticking. So yeah, I've got to. That's another ticking time bomb, I think, or at least a ticking button. Are you kidding? Total cold. Rip. Ah, jeez. Alright, well. Disarm. And now we're left with a special room here. Okay, so we can access this with ease now. Of course, we will need the yellow one to get back, or we go through the orange one, because either one works. For this room, we need to get the gray button, though. So we need to activate this puppy back. We've already pressed that. We've already pressed that one. So there is a button here, which is the orange one. So we have to toggle the orange one, and I think we have to toggle the blue one next, so let us leave... Oddly, I'm going to say Monsoon, because while he is a good individual to have, he attacks really slow. So he's good in boss fights, not so good in one-on-one engagements. I have my reasons for choosing this, but yeah. This is the main reason. Okay. I guess in the meantime, we can have everybody else go over to here. Because we will need them to rush forward. Are they running? Yes, they are. Okay. Alright. Thompson, you need to go over to here. So you can press this button. There we go. We quickly move over to this party here.
I'm there.
Have you guys rush over to here. Like so. Oh. Need to click it again. There we go. From here, we go over to this one. This door, I believe. Then, we have Monsoon activate this trap, or one. To where we go through. And we go to this one. From there, press the space button, move over to you. Thompson will activate the orange button. And lead us into yet another room. Ah. More zombies. Not fun, but okay. Okay. Anguished Barbarians. Okay. We'll get, we'll start getting the sorcerers
This
dealt
will
with.
hurt.
Okay. They can't be affected by Dazzling Display, unfortunately, so that's a, that's off the targets. Oh, fun! Oh no. Did I not save? I don't think I saved during this entire dungeon run. Ah, God. Pain. Okay. You know what? This is probably a good time to end it, I think. As much as I'd love to continue, I don't want you guys to go through that again. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end it here, because I got stuff to do today. So, for next stream... Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that again. I've been through all of it. Yeah, for when I play this next, I will be back at the position I was originally at, because I don't want to go through that again and make you guys suffer like I did. But yeah, I will finish it later. For those of you on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification if you want to see more ass stuff. I stream daily, so if you want to catch me, I usually stream at 3 to 7 MST time. Sometimes I change it up, but usually it's around that time. For those of you on Twitch, follows are always appreciated. The more followers I have, the more content I can give you guys. And if you want to catch my VODs, you can either, for those of you on YouTube, if you want to catch the most recent stuff, you can check my Twitch channel down in the description below. For those of you on Twitch, if you want to see any of my VODs, you can find it on the YouTube channel because that's where I save them all. But I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I know I did. And I will see you all in the next stream. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.